Some of us are in a position right now that is only testing to see how you will handle where you will be. All right, let me go a little bit further with that one, Jose. This is one of my favorite sayings here. In order to increase your territory, you got to first increase the capacity. That's it. That's it right there. In order to increase the territory, we got to be willing to increase the capacity. Increasing the capacity means being in this situation, understanding that this is only a pit stop, it's not permanent. This week, I want to say something. I want to start the show off by saying that your income is the most important wealth building tool that you have. But some people are so viscerally exhausted financially that their money, their most important tool, is going to everyone but themselves. And so how can you truly stand on your financial faith if you don't have any to begin with? And I want to dig into that before we get into tonight's episodes, because faith is truly believing in something that isn't in front of you at the moment. It's believing in what's not seen. I don't want to get too biblical into that. I just want to give you a paraphrase behind it, right? I want to paraphrase it. I want to make it simple for us. But how can you believe in wealth if you've given your most important tool to someone else? How can we truly say that we're standing on our financial faith if we don't have solid ground that we are anchored to? In order to build wealth, you have to live a life of profits, not base your life on wages. And most people are confined by the wages they make, so they don't see the infinite possibilities of the profits that's there for them. So you can't truly stand on your financial faith, because if you're basing your wealth on the profits that you make, but you're only confined to the wages that you have, then it is impossible for you to overcome this somewhat insurmountable task. It's almost impossible, because we basing everything that we can and cannot do off what we see. When you don't see wealth physically first, you see it mentally first. You mentally and spiritually see where you want to be at. You mentally and spiritually see what the freedom looks like. What does having your bills on auto pay look like? What does not overdrafting look like? What does the vacation long as you want look like? What does paying for your kids' college look like? What is not dreading bill? Like, you can't physically see it until you can first spiritually and mentally see it. So how can you truly stand on your financial faith if you have little to none to begin with? But this is a huge but here. It said that faith the size of a mustard seed is all you really need. I don't really want to get too deep into that. But if you got a little bit of financial faith, that can take you a long way. And so what happens is we allow people to put us in these financial boxes, and then oftentimes we fight to stay in the box instead of fighting to demolish the box so that we can have faith in our financial future. Come on, Jose. Like, I remember I'm going to go back to a moment when I was sleeping. My daughter here tonight. I'm going to go back to a moment where I was sleeping on an air mattress. She was sleeping on an air mattress on side of me. And all I kept telling myself was, one day in the future, this will be something we both laugh at. Right? This will be a moment where we can relate to and say, damn, remember we was on the air mattress reading the books together, but my financial faith was solid. The financial faith was solid. Even though it wasn't there in the moment, I wasn't confined by the constructs of the air mattress. I wasn't confined to not having a bunch of furniture in the house. I wasn't confined to that, because I understood that that was only a temporary place in my life. I didn't turn something temporary into something permanent. So the belief system had to evolve. I had to believe, I had to conceive something or a place that I wasn't, even though I was physically in a place that I didn't want to be. Man, I wish I could speak that a little bit better for you to understand. Okay, some of us are in a position right now that is only testing to see how you will handle where you will be. All right, let me go a little bit further with that one, Jose. This is one of my favorite sayings here. In order to increase your territory, you got to first increase the capacity. That's it. That's it right there. In order to increase the territory, we got to be willing to increase the capacity. Increasing the capacity means being in this situation, understanding that this is only a pit stop, is not permanent. The permanent comes when we keep evolving. So watch this. I told my team something today. The knowledge that you have today will not be useful in 2-3 years, only half of it. So what you know today, if you don't keep evolving it, if you don't keep learning because the world is evolving, then in tomorrow you'll be stuck with yesterday's information. It's no good. So if you do not plan for tomorrow today, when tomorrow comes, you'll be no better off than you was yesterday. Oh, I hope I said that right for you. Right? Like we gonna stand on our financial future, and we gotta have faith in it. We have been positioned, y'all. We have been positioned. I'm talking about we in a right position to take advantage of the world pivoting. But the reason why we can't take advantage of it and we can't see the infinite opportunities is because we don't believe. We don't believe in what's to come because the right now is full of strife. And sometimes it's hard for us to overcome or see past the insurmountable adversity that keeps on reoccurring. Let me tell you something though. Let me tell you something though. As life gets better, the adversity increases. Yep. As life gets better, the adversity increases. Because as you enter a new realm, that new realm comes with new problems. Problems that you haven't premeditatedly have figured out. You can't prepare for a problem that hasn't positioned itself in your proximity yet. Okay? Like you can't prepare for a problem that hasn't positioned itself in your proximity. You can't prepare for it. But what you can do is tell yourself, watch this, you can equip yourself to say whatever comes to me is only working for me. Because once I surpass the problem, I am now equipped to go to the next level. All right, let me say that better. Let me say that better. I never knew how to run a successful business, but I had the vision of what a successful business looked like. And so every day I took the steps to getting closer to the vision, disregarding what I did not know. Like I disregarded what I didn't know because I knew where I wanted to go was a byproduct of me being consistently dedicated to making progress. So essentially, I was standing on my financial faith. I want us to be able to stand on our financial faith, but we got to expand. We got to increase the capacity of how we think, how we move, how we behave, how we speak, so that we can then go into new territory. So then we can go into new territory. Every time I'm in the market and I see people preying on my downfall, to me it speaks more about them than it does to me. because I believe in the game. Like, I'm such an advocate for the stock market that I love the down days as much as I love the green days. And if I'm being completely transparent with you, the last week I probably had like a $10,000 day, I think yesterday I had like a $35,000 day. I didn't even post it because I like posting the 6-figure days. But I also like posting the 6-figure losses. So I haven't posted because to me the losses haven't been big enough and the wins haven't met the criteria. Like there's enough people posting $5,000 days. That don't, I'm gonna be honest with you, that don't meet my criteria. I could have posted a $30,000 loss today, but I'm gonna tell you why I didn't post it. It don't meet my criteria. I need to see a $100,000 L day so I can post that so you can say, damn, Trap. Because I know, watch this, Jose, I know the 6-figure losses bring out all the haters. The 6-figure losses bring out everybody that want to see me fall, and it makes it that much better when I have a 6-figure day. So I love posting the 6-figure L's so I can post the 6-figure days and smile. So now you can't be mad at me. So when I have a $30,000 loss, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll be like, man, I can't post that. They used to that already. That was last year's losses. The $30,000 loss last year surprised them. A $30,000 loss this year, be like, Trap, you had a $300,000 day, it ain't nothing. So it's just saying that watch this, yo. I'm so anchored to my financial faith. My criteria for wins and losses are now completely different than what they was 6 months ago. Because I told Sean one day, I said, bro, in order to get $1 million day, you got to be willing to stand tall in a 6-figure loss. You got to be willing to stand tall in it. Matter of fact, the 6-figure loss is a prerequisite. It's a prerequisite. It's a prerequisite. But for me, the 6-figure loss lets the people who rock with this tribe, it lets them understand this is a necessary evil that you cannot negotiate. You can't negotiate the necessary. Right? Like, you can't negotiate the 6-figure loss if you say you won't be a multi-millionaire. You can't, like, okay, Trap, I just want to make 5 figures. Okay, cool. Well, you got to take a 4-figure loss. Trap, I want to make 6 figures. Well, you got to take a 5-figure loss. So in my mind, if you're going to take a loss, why not take the biggest loss possible? Because you know on the other side of that, it's the biggest one you ever seen in your life. It's just the way I'm wired. And so for me, I need you to be wired the same way that I'm wired because I want to represent the normal that you now not compare yourself to, but know what's possible. I want you to be like, yep, well, I took the $10,000 loss, so I know $100,000 is on the way. I felt it in my bones. Somebody DM'd me today, and I'm not going to say the brother's name. A couple months ago, he was like, Trap, I've made more money than I've ever made in my life. I'm like, man, for sure. He DM'd me today and said, Trap, I'm scared. I say, why are you scared? You only down like 15%. We've been down 60% before. What are we scared of? He said, man, because I'm about to lose life-changing money. I said, you're not about to lose anything but your confidence. Because the way you think is now going to give birth to something that you regret. It's going to give birth to something. I'm like, if you rocking with me, you ain't seen me budge. You ain't seen me trip. You ain't seen me panic. You ain't seen me do nothing and say, hey, y'all, this was going on. The reason being is because I'm so strong on standing on my financial faith, y'all. And whatever the pivot is necessary. Whatever, I want you to write this down today. Whatever the pivot is, be it a win or a loss, is necessary. Whatever the pivot is, And this is right here, Jose, watch this. The pivot is the prerequisite to promotion. That boy was sick. He was in the bed, Jose. He was chilling. The pivot is the prerequisite for promotion. So you got to pick. Do you really want to go to the next level? Or are you comfortable being where you are? Because watch this. I want you to understand something. The human being is the only species that put limitation on their growth. The human being is the only species that put limitation on their growth. You know why? Because you start to thinking about things that don't exist. You start thinking about dangers that haven't even presented themselves yet. You start putting possibilities that go against you in the way before they even go that way. You start now switching your whole demeanor. You start switching your whole mindset. You start switching the way you feel. You start switching the emotions. You start switching the way you move forward. You start stepping back. You start not moving sideways. You stop playing the game, and you know the game working for everybody else. What happens is you start letting the pivot be a penalty instead of letting the pivot be a promotion. Let's go, man. Trapping Tuesday, episode 87, man. I ain't sick no more, Jose.